Dan, we are definitely in a project here with the Ford Transits. There's actually a lot of stuff that goes behind the scenes, Zach.
Heat.
Especially with Australia. We get a lot of our information from the UK and doesn't exactly translate here perfectly, so there's a lot of research and development we also got to pick off and myth bust essentially.
Exactly, we've got to satisfy Aussie standards really for installing seats into vehicles. So I know that we've had a lot of interest in the Tornado rear seats for the Transits. So we've just got our Sport. We've taken a measurement from our front axle line here down to the floor. We've got our measurements on there. From there, we also take our centre line measurement of the vehicle. And once you've got those 2 points, we can then work out where the holes need to go.
As long as you get the correct datum, we can work off that. And then everything with these new vehicles, everything's been put in there for a reason, hey? So this is essentially just double checking from multiple points. So drilling into an expensive van's not exactly a fun thing to do.
No, exactly. So we got our centre line, and then we mark out 3 holes forward, and then we've also got 3 holes either side, which will then allow us to we mirror that on the other side, it will give us 6 rails for the 3 seats. Now each of them actually run through, so the hole's going to have to go through this big top hat section there, the chassis, also here and here. So drilling through these is obviously going to require a bit of precision, some thinking, and some structural integrity as well. So we'll probably likely be using some kind of crush tube in there, so when we tighten everything up, we don't crush this. The bolt is actually pushing onto a tube that runs all the way through to the floor. So it's things like that that we need to talk with our engineers to make sure that it's all being done correctly and it's going to satisfy those Aussie standards. So I know there's been a bit of a wait on this one. It has to be done properly, and once we've got it done, I think we should be able to get some more in and really start to push these out.
The good thing about how we're sort of processing this, and correct me if I'm wrong, because they're Tornado seats, they have all the engineering, they all have the crash testing and all that stuff overseas, but we also got to make sure it complies with everything over in Australia, because the seat is essentially one of the most important safety items in the vehicle.
Seat belts are integral to the seat. They're a factory Ford item, so they've all had all the testing and everything done on them, but it's how that is mounted to the floor. So if there is an incident or a rollover, that the seat's not just going to fall out the floor, and it's going to hold the occupant in. We can show you the seats as well. We've got some out here as well.
Most definitely. But even just to get to this stage, we need to talk to Ford themselves. We need to talk to our team over in the UK, our engineers in Australia too. Just to get to this stage is, I don't know, how many hours do you reckon you spent just doing this research?
I couldn't put a number on it, but there's been a few. The great thing about it is we do have the support from the UK. These guys have already started doing this. They've got a big team over there, very experienced, a big experienced workshop.
Oh, they only pop up all the way open when
they're in the rails, that's right. So this is the look of the seats in here. So a nice, basically, factory Tornado seat. And the fact that you can remove and install, very practical as far as you can have just one seat in. You can have all 3. So if you want to put something long down the vehicle.
And I think you might be able to even switch them 180 too.
I think you can. The key with the rails is that when they're installed, so we've got this sticker here, this indicates the front of the rail, which is basically there's a square point down in there. As you'll see inside the rail, there's some teeth marked in there and not on that side. So these fit on the outside because they lock into here. So each rail has the teeth on the outside, so you've got it in the right spot.
We keep selling our vehicles essentially that we're going to do it on, and then
each time we get one in, it goes. So we'll try and get one in for a bit longer and actually have it as a test vehicle.
And because we still haven't done it physically in Australia yet, we don't know exactly how long it takes to do all of it.
Yeah.
So we can't exactly give a price to a customer.
No.
Yet, because there's the floor we got to essentially build up to.
Yeah, look, let's have a quick look. Let's bring the, we've done on the measurements, haven't we? We can drop the, just enough to show them.
Vans are becoming more and more like an SUV. They drive fantastic, super comfortable, super quiet. They definitely come with a lot more trims. Now, the reason why these vans are getting so much more expensive because they have all these add-ons to make these desirable.
As you can see, the depth of the rail, which is actually mounted to the floor, is probably 50 mil, I'd say. So from a normal panel van, this step would be this deep. Yeah. So we'll need new treads. We'll need to build up the floor so that you can see in here, this is like a foam with a ply on top that Ford used. So the whole floor needs to be raised 50 mil to meet the top of the rails. If it's a panel van, there would have been a bulkhead up in the front. So when that bulkhead is removed, we'd need to get all new B-pillar covers as well to cover where the bulkhead was. So there's a whole lot involved with it, really. But
I know with a lot of the groups that we run, a lot of people, when they take out the bulkheads, there's a sensor issue with the security. So I know there's a sensor in the back that is overly sensitive, essentially. So we'll have to cross that path when we get there. I've got a couple ideas, but we need to test everything.
So we're looking into it, that's for sure.
Unfortunately, it's just not a bolt-in seat anymore.
No, not as easy as the old Transporters, but we'll get it done and we'll figure it all out. And then once we've got a bit of a process, then we can start to get them out there for everyone. Because, yeah, hugely practical. That's what you want, really.
Phenomenal.
You know?
Like, I want to get one of these vans. This is a long wheelbase sports cab, but I want to get short wheelbase. It's a bit nicer to drive as a essentially daily vehicle.
Just that little bit shorter. It's easier to drive around like a car, I guess, in and out of parking spots, and you can get a set of seats in the rear, which they're not bringing into Oz, short wheelbase double cabs. Yeah. Or not at this stage anyway, that I'm aware of.
Yeah. And then, you know, just the conveniency of taking the seat out, throwing a dirt bike in the back, or some tools, or some, you know, just boy stuff.
Absolutely.